I-19 female gave up a child for adoption a year ago, with heavy parent urging. Now my brother 18 male has impregnated his girlfriend 18 female and they are letting her move in. How do I cope with this? I feel so horrible. I've been up all night crying and just wrecked. When I gave up Bryce, I did it for everyone involved. I know that. But my parents kept insisting I'd ruin my life, the father's, and the baby's lives if I didn't. They said they wouldn't help me at all, that I would never be able to go to college, etc. It was definitely a factor in my decision. I didn't blame them, I got it. Unfortunately, I spiraled into a deep depression afterwards. I broke up with Cam because it hurt to see Bryce in his face and remember when I just wanted to forget. I lost 20 pounds I didn't need to lose. I ended up not taking my scholarship to a college 2 hours away because I didn't even want to get out of bed. I'm going to a community college now and doing better. But I don't think I'll ever be the same. I can't be around kids now. I used to volunteer with them and was considering a field with children. But now it hurts to see them, physical pain, but I was coping until my brother announced his girlfriend of 7 months, Cam and I dated for 2 years, was pregnant, and they were keeping the baby. My parents are letting her move in and being supportive, talking about where the baby will sleep, how they will manage to work and stay in school and parent. I am crushed. I feel betrayed. It's only been a year and they never talk about my son, and now they're talking about my loser brother's baby. How am I supposed to live in the same house as a baby? And now on to the top comments. Regardless of how good their motives may be, and even understandable, that your parents have not felt the need to level with you and even be apologetic about it all is really crappy on their part. That said, their rationale may be that they saw you, girl headed to college with a scholarship, as having a lot of potential, and felt a child would derail your life. Meanwhile, they perhaps don't have such high expectations for your brother. Even if this is so, this is all really insensitive crap on their part. You'd be totally in the right to have a word with them about this. You would think that if they saw how badly the adoption affected her, they'd have a conversation with her now, that they initiated, about what is affecting their reactions this time. To just ignore her feelings in this and pretend all is fine is unconscionable. You got a super bad break there and I'm on your side, but I need to know, to understand better, did Kim want to marry you and or stay with you? Was he a credible dad and husband type, a worker who would have supported a family at that young age? If so, your parents were protecting their family's image more than your future. If not, there may be a bit of nuance and difference between the situations. The only reason he gave up the baby was for me, and because I insisted the baby would tear us apart. He cried when Bryce was born and asked me if I was sure. Aside from that, he was working 2 jobs, one full-time and one part-time. He wasn't a rocket scientist, but he would have done his best. Now for the first update. I talked to my parents, both at once. I started with, why are you letting Ryan's baby and girlfriend move in when you wouldn't even let me talk about keeping the baby? They had reasons. They felt that I would go on to college and be successful, whereas they think that even if Ryan gave this baby up, he would simply have another one in a year. B. My depression made them hesitant to inflict that on anyone. C. How many grandchildren can we give away? D. They thought I would be pleased they were helping Ryan. I explained to them that the idea of a baby living in the next room was like a hot iron, that I genuinely didn't know if I could cope. I can't even volunteer in the church nursery for an hour on Sundays, and now there will be a baby at my place 24/7. I know trying to forget isn't the best strategy, but it's only been a year. I'm just not ready, and my dad said that they didn't realize I would feel this way, that he thought I was content with my decision now, that I'd be happy. He said if he had known better he wouldn't have offered for her to move in, but what's done is done, that he doesn't break his word. I reminded him that he told me he would not have any teenage kid of his raising a kid in his house, and it disintegrated from there into a screaming match. I am going to get a job and move out. I don't care if I have to drop my classes or take a semester off. I can't live in this house. I don't hate my parents really, I just can't live in here and watch my brother with his baby. It's too soon, and it will just make me wonder and question my choices. And now on to the top comments. Have you had any counseling this past year? It sounds like you've suffered from depression and are now resentful, which is understandable, but that you won't be able to forgive your parents ever. Holding on to that anger and regret won't be healthy for you. Yes, I've had some sessions, they're really helped. I know it may not seem like it, but I'm pretty normal, whereas for a while I was just a shell. I called my counselor yesterday, and she even offered to explain to my parents how detrimental this would be for me. But my dad is stubborn. Once he decides something, he never changes his mind. I am going to get a job and move out. I don't care if I have to drop my classes or take a semester off. I can't live in this house. I don't hate my parents really, I just can't live in here and watch my brother with his baby. It's too soon, and it will just make me wonder and question my choices. Tell them that. Hopefully it will make them realize that they are choosing your brother's girlfriend over you. If not, then they may offer to help you with the bills. It's a win-slash-win situation. Well, let's not forget that this girlfriend is actually having their grandchild as well. Maybe they don't want the kid to grow up in squalor. At least with the grandparents involved, the baby has a shot at a stable home life. It really sucks that it's traumatic to the OP, but leaving inexperienced teen parents to work it out on their own so that she feels better about life doesn't really fix anything either. They should be emotionally supportive for sure, but once the girlfriend decided to keep the baby, obligations change. Maybe they don't want the kid to grow up in squalor. At least with the grandparents involved, the baby has a shot at a stable home life. The girlfriend has parents too, and the parents could at least help OP pay rent if she moves out. If you set up an Indiegogo fund, I will donate to help you move out. Hell, start a fund to travel to Europe for a while. I'll donate more. Smiley face. Nothing would make you happier than to hear you are the hell out of there and living life. Set the frickin' fund up, lol. I think I'll be able to manage a cheap apartment. I appreciate it though. Donate to someone who needs it more. Now for the last update. I am spending my first night in my new place. I actually moved in with my former ex and father of my child, boyfriend. This all made me realize how alone I was. No one in my life understood the pain of giving a child up for adoption, because I cut out the only person who could. It used to hurt to see him, and see Bryce's mouth and eyes, but it doesn't anymore. It's almost nice. What really cemented the decision is when I saw the picture of Bryce on the fridge though. I was never going to get to that level of okay in my own house. My parents were very upset I moved and keep thinking I will change my mind, but I won't. My dad was almost angry and said I was being an idiot, and if I was going to ruin my life, I wasted a year crying because what's the difference? But that's just his way. My brother said they needed the space anyways and would turn my room into the baby's, so he's being the same self-involved boy he's always been. I hope he starts medicating again for his bipolar disorder, and gets a job, and is a good father. I don't think it's very likely, but I really do hope it works out. I just can't stay around and watch it every day. Thanks for all the advice. And now on to the top comments. I read your other two threads and I'm really happy to see this update. It sounds like you're moving in a good direction. I wish all the best for you and Cam. Same here, good to see you left the parents who have mixed up sexist values. I'm not sure if it's specifically sexist, but it's definitely messed up as all hell. It sounds like the parents didn't give a damn about how this affected OP. I'm so sorry to hear that, but glad she's taken one big step forward. Get on some good birth control. Don't try to replace what you gave up. You're on the right track getting out of your parents' house. That situation was toxic. I'm so glad you posted an update. Get back to school when you can. I hope you make it. Yeah, we had a pretty good success rate with condoms. No pregnancy for 2 years. The pregnancy occurred when we weren't using one, but I would like to use 2 methods. It helps, in a way, that we have an open adoption. We are going to be like a distant aunt and uncle he sees once a year, and I think us having a child a year or 2 younger than him would really bother him. Nothing is really different in our lives than when I had him. I ended up not needing to leave school. My boyfriend is giving me a sweet deal with the apartment, since we share a room, and my little part-time gig should cover most things. What bothers me is that your dad is going to get off scot-free on all of this. You'll suffer as life goes on. he'll get his way and eventually he'll be gracious enough to forgive you or even give some sort of apology, as if it'll make things better. Not trying to be a downer, but you gotta be proactive. I would talk to the therapist about that if I were you, because he's going to pull this and it's going to mess with you when it happens. You don't want to be happy and then have him trying to undermine that. We only know the details you've told us, but to me it seems like this is a guy who is out there to sabotage your well-being. This was exactly what I was thinking when reading the post. I would honestly cut such a toxic person like that out of my life the moment I was completely financially independent and secure. I have no respect for parents and other family members who do not place their child's well-being over their own selfish crap. Now on to the next story. My mother 43 wants me 18 female to donate eggs so she can have kids with her fiancé. There's a lot to this and good God it's a mess. I go off to college in August. I turned 18 at the end of May. When I was about 14, my mother asked me if I would be willing to help her have a baby one day. I said yes without understanding what it all entailed. She is still holding me to this even though I have since changed my mind. My mom has been threatening to kick me out over my refusal. She is pressuring me to sign a contract that would bind me to one cycle sometime before I turn 30. And she has even discussed me carrying a baby for her once I'm done with school. I feel very nervous about this, and I'm trying to stall/hold out until I am no longer under her roof. I can't afford to move out, Ada, until August. I'm not sure if I could eventually get out of this contract if I were to sign it, but I don't want to risk it. Her fiancé is totally cool with this. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to make plans to maybe stay with a friend, but I'm hoping to find a way out of this with my personal items. I know my mom will hold things hostage, so to speak. Sorry if this isn't the right sub. And now on to the top comments. If you are leaving and your mom holds your property or valuables or government-issued IDs hostage, you can call the police. I didn't know that, thank you. You can also quietly gather your valuables and identity documents. You can even tell her you need to scan them in for school or work. You can put them someplace safe like at a trusted friend's house, and you can also replace them with copies so that she may not know that they are missing. If you can, get your sister's documents too to keep them safe. Why don't you pretend to be on board and go to a doctor? Have your sister go as well. Tell the doctor that you have both been pressured while underage and threatened. Ask for a doctor's note that your eggs and possibility for surrogacy are unviable. Since you're underage and/or under coercion, this isn't exactly a lie. Both of you should ask school counselors/the doctor/online resources for help. You are in a toxic and abusive household, and your sister is even more vulnerable once you move out and she is alone. She doesn't have children, so she's immediately a no-go for surrogacy anyway. She needs to worry about mom trying to go the alternate route. That's horrifying to think about. No is a complete sentence. She can't make you do anything you don't want to do. Surrogate have to have at least one successful pregnancy. She needs therapy. What the hell is the fiancé saying? The fiancé thinks it's perfectly reasonable thing to ask. He's a little crazy, but he seemed saner than my mother up until recently. I wonder if he thinks I volunteered for it rather than my mom is pressuring me to do it. I'm rarely able to talk to him alone. And that is it. Thanks for listening till the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a nice day. Drink a coffee and wear your seatbelt. Goodbye.